You've been performing for so long, you forgot who you were before the applause. You don't need a new identity. You need to come home to the one you abandoned. It's time to change the narrative. It's time to recognize who you are. You are not an imposter. You are not a mistake. You are not a placeholder in your own life. There is no such thing as imposter syndrome. I will start here every chance I get because I subscribe to the uncomfortable truth. The lie was never yours, the label was never yours, and the doubt you've been carrying was never born in you. It was handed to you, reinforced around you, and normalized in systems that benefit from your hesitation. And as long as you keep looking outward for affirmation, you will keep waiting for permission that was never coming. The system will not affirm you because it was not built to recognize your fullness. It was built to reward conformity, obedience, and silence. It was built to elevate the familiar and question the unfamiliar. And when you walk into a room with brilliance, depth, and lived experience that doesn't fit the mold, the system doesn't know what to do with you. So it labels you, it doubts you, it makes you question yourself. Not because you are lacking, but because you disrupt the hierarchy. Imposter thoughts don't come from incompetence, they come from environments that refuse to acknowledge your competence. You learn to doubt yourself because you were surrounded by people who needed you to shrink. You learn to question your worth because you were conditioned to believe that validation comes from authority, not from truth. And when you internalize that conditioning, you start living like you need permission to be who you already are. The system will not affirm you because affirmation requires seeing you clearly. And clarity threatens the structures that rely on your confusion. If you ever fully understood your value, your voice, your capacity, your resilience, your intelligence, your creativity, your leadership, you would stop asking for approval. You would stop waiting for recognition. You would stop performing for acceptance. And that would make you uncontrollable. Outward validation is a trap dressed up as encouragement. It feels like support, but it functions like surveillance. You start measuring your worth by applause, by titles, by praise, by proximity to power. You start believing that your identity is only real when someone else confirms it. And that belief keeps you tethered to systems that were never designed to celebrate you. Freedom begins when you stop negotiating your value with people who benefit from your doubt. You cannot be free while waiting for affirmation from structures that profit from your insecurity. You cannot be free while hoping that the same system that questioned you will one day validate you. You cannot be free while outsourcing your confidence to environments that never intended to nurture it. The truth is uncomfortable because it forces you to confront how much of your life has been shaped by external approval. You didn't just want to be good, you wanted to be seen as good. You didn't just want to belong, you wanted to be accepted. You didn't just want to succeed. You wanted someone to confirm that your success was legitimate. And every time you reached outward, you weakened the connection inward. The system will not affirm you because affirmation is a form of power. And power in traditional structures is not distributed, it is protected. When you stop seeking affirmation, you disrupt the power dynamic. You reclaim authority over your identity. You reclaim ownership of your narrative. You reclaim the right to define yourself without waiting for someone else to agree. You were never meant to live your life waiting for a nod, a title, a promotion, a compliment, or a stamp of approval. You were meant to live from a place of internal truth, a truth that does not waver when someone questions you, a truth that does not shrink when someone misunderstands you, a truth that does not collapse when someone fails to recognize you. The system will not affirm you because it cannot affirm what it does not understand. And it does not understand your resilience. It does not understand your lived experience. It does not understand your perspective. It does not understand your capacity to rise after being dismissed. It does not understand the depth of what you carry, and what it cannot understand, it cannot validate. So you must learn to affirm yourself, not in a performative, motivational poster way, but in a grounded, truth-centered way. Affirm yourself by telling the truth about who you are, even when the room is silent. Affirm yourself by acknowledging your growth, even when no one applauds. Affirm yourself by recognizing your brilliance, even when others overlook it. Affirm yourself because you know the truth, not because you need permission. The system will not affirm you, but your community can. The people who see you, who understand you, who resonate with your journey, they can reflect your truth back to you. Not as validation, but as connection. Not as approval, but as belonging. Not as permission, but as partnership. Community is where affirmation becomes mutual instead of conditional. And once you stop looking outward for affirmation, you stop living like an imposter. You stop performing. You stop pretending. You stop shrinking. You stop waiting. You stop apologizing for your existence. You stop negotiating your worth. You stop asking for permission to be who you already are. You start living from truth instead of fear. And when you finally stop waiting for the system to affirm you, something shifts inside you. You begin to see how much of your brilliance was already present, already active, already shaping your life, even when you didn't have the language for it. You begin to recognize that your growth was never dependent on external approval. You begin to understand that your evolution was happening quietly, beneath the noise of doubt, beneath the pressure of performance, beneath the weight of expectation. You were becoming yourself even when you didn't know you were allowed to. The system will not affirm you because affirmation requires humility. The humility to admit it misjudged you, underestimated you, misunderstood you, or mislabeled you. Systems rarely apologize. They rarely acknowledge the harm they caused. They rarely admit that the narratives they fed you were rooted in bias, fear, or control. So if you're waiting for the system to come back and say, we were wrong about you, you will be waiting forever. Your healing cannot depend on an apology that will never arrive. You must learn to live from a place where affirmation is internal and truth is non-negotiable. You must learn to trust your own voice more than the voices that try to silence you. You must learn to trust your own experience more than the interpretations of people who never lived your life. You must learn to trust your own intuition more than the systems that taught you to doubt it. This is not arrogance. It is reclamation. It is the process of returning to yourself after years of being pulled away from your own center. And once you reclaim that center, you stop needing the system to affirm you because you finally understand that affirmation was never the goal. Freedom was, wholeness was, belonging was, truth was. You begin to see that affirmation is a byproduct of alignment, not a prerequisite for it. When you stand in your truth, the right people recognize you. The right spaces welcome you. The right opportunities find you. Not because you begged for affirmation, but because you stopped chasing it. The system will not affirm you, but you were never meant to be affirmed by a system. You were meant to be affirmed by truth, by community, by lived experience, by your own internal knowing. You were meant to be affirmed by the quiet confidence that comes from understanding who you are without needing anyone else to validate it. And once you reach that place, imposter syndrome dissolves, not because the system changed, but because you did. Before you go, the Impostor Phenomenon Guide is a free digital workbook designed to help you recognize self-doubt, reclaim your confidence, and own every accomplishment you've earned. No fluff, no toxic positivity, just real tools that work. If you're listening on a podcast platform, the link is in the description. If you're on YouTube, it's pinned in the channel links as well. Go grab it. Friend, it's free and waiting for you. So take a breath, settle in, and let's begin the work of separating who you are from who you've been performing to be, because it's time to stop performing and start belonging. Welcome to the work. Welcome to the becoming. Welcome to Unmasking the Imposter. Thank you for listening to the Impostor Phenomenon podcast. If today's episode opens something in you, share it with someone who needs this conversation too. Make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an episode. And if you're ready to go deeper, get ready to join our community where we're doing the real work of reclaiming identity, rewriting narratives, and rebuilding belonging from the inside out. Remember, you are not an imposter. You are not a mistake. You are the author, and your story is far from finished.